Hi, Joy Kang, and welcome to IndiaBase.ca. There's nothing that I love more than a nice warm cup of tea. And on my last trip to India, I had the absolute most amazing chai in the world. They really know how to make their chai tea there. So here are the ingredients that you'll need to make our own version of a delicious, nice, hot, warm, spicy masala chai. So for this recipe, we're going to be using our India-based Masala Chai Tea bag that has actual whole spices already in it. So we use a black tea orange pico mix with whole cardamom pods, green cardamom pods, black cardamom pods, some cinnamon bark. We've got whole pieces of dried ginger, some cloves, some fennel seeds, everything that you need to make this wonderful chai. As well, we've got our own masala that we add in there too. So we have our own masala base that we make and we add it into the mix. So this is going to go into a pot of 2.5 cups of boiling water, and we're going to let that boil for about 10 minutes. And then once it comes to that boil, we're going to let it steep for a little while before we add our milk. Chai has been bubbling away for about 5 minutes, so we're going to let it boil for another 5 minutes or so just to infuse the entire masala chai with all of the flavors from the cardamom and the cloves. And then we're going to add in about half a cup of milk once we've let it steep for a bit. And then of course you can always add honey, or you can add some brown sugar just to give it a little bit more sweetness. So our tea has been boiling now for about 10 minutes, and I'm going to add in half a cup of milk. At this point you can substitute just regular milk for soy milk, or if you like to, for some almond milk as well to give it more of a nutty flavor. So now I'm going to let this come up to a little bit of a gentle boil for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to do a little trick where I'm going to aerate the tea just to give it a little bit more frothiness to it. I've also added in whole pieces of ginger to give it a little extra oomph, which you can omit if you like, but it's just some peeled ginger that I've just thrown in there to boil with the rest of the spices that are already in the tea. Okay, so it's coming up to a gentle boil. I'm just going to let it boil for a little bit till that water, or till the milk heats up a little bit. And now we're going to take out the tea bag and show you how to aerate it. Tea has come to a nice gentle boil. I've turned off the heat. I've taken out the tea bag as well as the ginger as well. And now I'm going to aerate the tea. This gives it a really nice frothy kind of texture to the tea and infuses it a little bit more with the flavors. And it kind of cools it down a little bit as well too once you do this. So just do it back and forth between two pots. Don't worry about any spillage. And then once you're done, pour it into a cup. I love adding honey to my tea, so I'm going to add in some honey. And there you have it, the best masala chai tea. So there you have it, a perfect cup of masala chai. On this gray, rainy day, there is nothing better than warming up with a nice hot cup of tea. That tastes awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Happy eating.